This is a tutorial for my arrangement of 3 English carols. There's going to be a playthrough at the end of this, and if you'd like to order it, there's a link in the description. This is for the fingerstyle player or the hybrid picker, and if you're following the tab notation, make sure you also pay attention to the music notation above the tab for chords and fingerings. Our first carol is In the Bleak Midwinter. It begins with 3 strings of a standard C chord. And what you want to do is, as you're playing the melody up top, hold down your 3rd finger and let this G on the 3rd string keep ringing underneath. So we have some nice harmony underneath the melody. The melody is finger open, finger 1, finger 4, and then open again. Then we have a low A that we're holding out. Over the top of that, we have fingers 1 and 2 on this little double stop. And then slide fingers 1 and 2 down 2 frets for this A and C. Fingering in measure 3 is fingers 3, 2, and 4. Hold down fingers 2 and 3 as you play the melody over the top of that with finger 4, then open, back to 4, and your 2nd finger should already be down on this melody note here. And then we have a G over B, just 3 strings of a G over B. Finger 2, open string, and finger 4. I'm going to go back and play those first 4 measures again so you can see how that's put together. So let the chord ring underneath. Slide fingers 1 and 2 over. Watch the fingering here. G over B chord. Measures 5 and 6 are the same as measures 1 and 2. Now here we have a G over B. It's written as a G chord, but really it's G over B for starters. The exact same chord you played in measure 4. Make sure that's with fingers 2 and 4. So hold that out. On beat 4, you'll play this bass note low G by itself, 3rd finger, and then after beat 4, you'll hear that, or you'll play that C note with 1st finger, and then the next measure is C chord, melody on string 2. I'm going to go back and play just those last 2 measures that I played so you can hear the interplay between the bass and the melody. So watch the timing here. Bass and then melody. In measure 9, we have some double stops on strings 1 and 3. That's finger 2 and 1, then 2 open strings, back to fingers 2 and 1. Now as you place your melody note down with your 4th finger here, keep your 2nd finger down there so that bottom note rings for a little longer. And then 1st finger moves to 5th fret, just play strings 1, 2, and 3 at the same time. Then on beat 2, pick string 1 again, and then on beat 3, pick string 2. Next measure, this is measure 11. We got some more double stops. This is fingers 1 and 3. We're at the 3rd fret. Now we're to the 1st fret again. This is finger 1 and open. Now finger 1 should be on the 2nd string. So all you have to do here is slide finger 1 over to the 3rd fret and plop your 2nd finger down for this double stop, and then slide both fingers down 2 frets for this A and C. And then this is just a standard G chord, or 3 strings of a standard G chord, just a low G and then an open G and B string. And then measures 13 through 16 are the exact same as measures 5 through 8. Keep the chord ringing underneath. And then watch the timing as we come up on beats 3 and 4 here. 3, 4, and 1. Then there's our fermata, so we hold that chord for a while. And that double slash marking is called a césure. That means we pause for a short time before we move to our next carol, which is Coventry Carol. So Coventry Carol is at measure 17. Begins with a D minor chord, although you don't need your first finger. This is part of a D minor chord. And play this D right here with your fourth finger. Then back to that D. Then we have 3 strings of an A chord. Very important to use fingers 2 and 3 for this, because what I'm going to be doing is holding down fingers 2 and 3 throughout this entire section. So next measure, measure 18, we go back to a D minor, but I'm keeping third finger planted, as you'll see why in just a second. Then first finger here. Next measure. I don't need third finger in this measure, but I'm going to hold it down. I pick the low A and the open E, then that A again, and then back to the E, then fourth finger, and then fingers 2 and 3 here. If you're keeping fingers 2 and 3 down throughout, then you already have the fingers down you need for that little section. Moving on to measure 21, D minor chord. We don't need the third finger for a D minor, but we're going to hold it down anyway. First finger here. This A7 right here is very easy to get to this A7 if you already have fingers 2 and 3 down, because all you need to do is take your pinky, move it from the second string to the first string, same fret. Very easy move there. Just move your pinky. And then pinky goes up, and then back to a D minor chord here. And at this point, we let go of that third finger because we don't need it. And in the bass, we're playing D, A, D. I'm going to go back to measure 17, play that much again, mainly so you can keep an eye on my second and third finger, especially my third finger. Third finger goes down here and stays down. Stays down here. Now pinky just moves to that G. Pick up to measure 25, finger 4 scoots up to the 5th fret. So that's fourth finger on this A at the 5th fret, pick up to measure 25. And then in measure 25, just slide finger 4 back to the 3rd fret for this G. At the same time, play this lower C and G. Hold this down here. Just move finger 1, or 2 finger 1 for this F. Measure 26, we have 3 notes of a C chord. Then measure 27, I'm going to plant finger 3 for the same reason we kept finger 3 down in the other section. So I don't need finger 3 in this measure, but now I need finger 3. Keep finger 3 down at measure 29. So now all I have to do to get to the C sharp is lift my pinky and then back to pinky. And just like the A7 before, all you have to do is move your pinky from this D to this G on the first string. Lift your pinky, and then you can slide your third finger over, and you got yourself a D major chord. There's a fermata, so we hold that. And we have another caesura marking, so we pause for a short time before we move into carol number 3, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. Here's the intro for God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. I'm playing this with fingers 2 and 3. Very important to use those 2 fingers, because in just a few measures, I'm going to be playing something based on an A minor chord, so then all I need to do at that point will just be put my first finger down. So intro. Notice those ties in the upper A notes on the 3rd string. Hold those out for 2 beats at a time while you're doing your do, 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 do underneath. And then we have some staccatos with these quarter notes. So you want to make sure, instead of letting those ring, you want to touch the strings again so it's staccato. And I apologize for some of those notes not quite sounding. I don't know if you can see it, but my first fingernail is broken, cut off, and so I'm sometimes missing strings with my first finger. Such is the life of a guitar player. Moving on, we just got done with the intro, and if you're holding down fingers 2 and 3, Then this next part's easy. Keep fingers 2 and 3 down. Pick up to 37. We just have this one A note. Then we have this power chord one more time. Hold this power chord down underneath while you play the melody up top. Open, open, and then finger 4 in the melody, and you play 3 strings. And then first finger down. Essentially, this is an A minor chord here, or part of an A minor chord. First finger lifts up, and then third finger should already be down on this A, and then third finger goes up. Then fingers 2 and 3 on this double stop there. 2 open strings, finger 1 and 2, finger 1 and 2 slide over to finger 1 on the 3rd fret. And then this is most of an E chord, but you just need your first finger. So first finger's on this G sharp, right there on the 3rd string. You play strings 1, 2, 3, and on beat 2, you play this low E. Measures 41 through 44, it's the same phrase, so I'm going to play 41 through 44 in its entirety, slowly, so you see how the previous section and the next section are put together. So preparing for an A minor here. Slide over, and then slide back. 1, 2, 3. Pick up to measure 45, fingerings are going to be important here. Pickup note is this open E, and then we play an open D and first finger on the melody. Use 4th finger for this D, which makes it easier to get to this low G with 3rd finger, and the melody is an open E. First finger on the melody. Next measure we have move your 3rd finger from G back to C, and at the same time, 4th finger on this G up top. Slide 4th finger over to this A at the 5th fret, and then we have a partial E7 chord, 3 strings of an E7. You only need your first finger. Every other note here is open. But 4th finger now on this D, and then over this low A, we're going to play finger 1, 2, open, 1. Here's a G over B chord. You played this earlier in the first carol. This is fingers 2 and 4 with 2 open strings in the middle. Then low A and first finger, finger 2 and 4, the same 2 fingers you just used for the G over B. And then hold this C down with your 3rd finger throughout the measure, while in the melody you play open, 1, and open. Measure 50, we have 3 strings of an E7 chord again. You only need your first finger, and you want to hold your first finger down through the entire measure, which is going to affect your fingering as you play the melody in this measure. So melody is open, 4. Now because we want to keep that first finger note ringing, that G sharp, we're going to play that C with 2nd finger. And then open note, and then think of this as an A minor here. Just first, it's 3 strings of an A minor. Fingers 3 and 2, so that way in the melody, your first finger is free to play this C right here. So C, open B, and 3rd finger should already be down on that A. The rhythm there is 1, 2, 3, and 4. G over B again, fingers 2 and 4. A and C, C with first finger, 2 and 4 again. And then in this measure right here, hold down your 3rd finger as long as you can. You're going to have to let go of that finger at some point in this measure, but hold it down for a while. So low C, and up top we have E, then first finger, 4th finger. Now you do have to let go of this low C here, because 4th finger is going to slide up to the 5th fret A. Back to 3 strings of an E7 chord. As a matter of fact, this is the exact same as measure 50, so hold the first finger down. Finger 2 here on the melody, open, and then this bit is the same as our intro, with our staccato quarter notes. you.